Morning. On this episode, we are mounting the plow, modifying the plow, because I need to move snow. So we haven't finished everything, but plow has moved up to the front of the list. So we need to pull the 4690 out of here, turn it around, back it in, so that we can get the plow mounted up, get the plow hooked up to the frame, get that all kind of sitting where I want it, and work on mounting it. And then we're gonna take that bucket and make the plow wider. So I don't know if you guys have seen the price of steel, but that stuff is expensive. So to spend the money on the steel I would need to make it 2 feet wider on either side, I mean, we're looking over $1,000, and that just ain't gonna happen. So I have this bucket, it came off my Massey, I don't use it anymore. We're gonna cut it in half or something like that and mount wings on the plow. I think that's the game plan. Anyways, time to get you out of here and turned around. Quick little walk around now that we have it in here. Make sure we don't see any leaks or anything funny. I'll get a light in there, check out the front main seal, but so far everything looks good. We're gonna drop the oil, get working on this plow. First thing we gotta do now is get this bolted into here. It just had pins and it was farther forward. We're gonna have it all the way back possible. And then we can work on getting this up and figuring out where the blade needs to be compared to the tractor. And then we have to build mounts, which is gonna be a whole nother thing. We got some nice fresh hardware and that should keep things sturdy where they need to be. They had 2 bolts in here. I'm putting 4 in. These are grade 8. And I know I'm gonna be pushing this plow to its limits. Like, it's a 9-foot plow and I'm gonna try and make it 13, 14 feet. So we're gonna try and make everything strong, reinforce the frame, fix cracks, that sort of thing. Okay, so we have gotten to the point where we're trying to figure out how this frame is gonna mount on this tractor and how the blade is gonna sit. And yeah, I'll be honest, it was a bit of a small blade for this tractor. It's too short, it's not wide enough. But it was $1,000 and it was close. Everything else is in Saskatchewan, man, and I don't want to go 4, 5, 6 hours away or have to pay for shipping. Try to do it cheap. So $1,000 blade, a couple days worth of welding and fab, $500 worth of metal. Let's see what we can come up with. So the way it is now, I was just trying to figure out how this frame is going to sit, and it sucks that there's that front piece for that front hydraulic, because otherwise I could shove it way far back and that would help me out a lot, but this is what we have to deal with. So this is with the frame all the way down, and I have a red mark on the cylinder, which is 3 inches of lift on that frame. So obviously we need to lower this, which is good because it's too high compared to the back. So now we're kind of figuring out how it's actually going to sit, but holy smokes, it's going to be so low. It's going to be interesting for sure. And it really sucks back here that mount is like right by the transmission pan. I wanted it to be like 6 inches farther back, and I don't think we're going to get that. So we might just build a different hitch that bolts onto the back, and then we can have that add 6 inches or something, but we'll see. I want to do as little making as possible, but it's going to be a lot. I'm going to have to build a U-frame through this area right here that's going to bolt to it. I was going to use this back here, which looks like it came from a blade or something, but it's mounted to the axle, which the axle pivots, and I want the blade to just be solid mounted to the frame. So that's what we're going to do. Time to lower this, get it where it needs to be, and figure out the back. It's all coming together here in my mind. We're gonna bolt front uprights. Like, the blade is gonna be sitting pretty much at this level. So that's, we got a distance to travel there, boss. But we're gonna just bolt straight into the frame. This is like 1/2 inch thick frame. And we'll be near the edge here, so it should be nice and strong. And we will take these brackets and some other metal I have and rig something up, is what I'm thinking. And then the back, we slid it back a little bit, and then we dropped that back hitch piece. So it's fairly decent. So if I build my U-frame right here, it'll be 6 inches wide. So it'll come to kind of the back of that piece, and then we'll just have a little piece sticking out front, kind of like a drawbar to put a bolt through. That's the plan. Time to start cutting metal. I should have brought it in earlier. We got a one piece of 6 inch wide, 1/2 inch thick strapping. I cut it into two. And then we got one piece of thick walled 2 inch tubing. So that's 24 feet, this is 20 feet. We're gonna make something happen here. We got our piece cut and marked. We're gonna drill 4 holes in here because there's gonna be one of these on either side of the frame, because I figured if I'm making a hoop, I need to be able to remove it if we're like pulling a transmission. I don't know, I think I should be able to remove it. So we're gonna weld these plates on the side here and then bolt the bottom half on, and they'll have little kickers going to the back to support any extra pressure. And that'll be the back mount. And once you get the back mount done and situated, it'll be really easy, or easier, to do the front. So I got this. I'm gonna try drilling some 3/4 inch holes. This is what sucks, we have to drill a ton of holes. And then when this doesn't work, we got this big thing which likes to break wrists. We'll use that if we need to. I hope I don't have to though. We got one drilled out. That drill can't just can't do it for long enough, so we have to use this, but this deserves your respect. That'll get you. So now we got to do this 3 more times, and we'll just keep stacking the one plate that we're going to drill underneath the one we drilled, and then they should all line up, and we'll just start them here and then move them to the vise. Had to vice grip them together to keep them from just spinning on me, but there we go. We got 4 pilots drilled in, and now we'll take it over to the vise and weld it up. This will be factory production line when I'm done, fellas. He likes to catch at the end. You always got to be paying attention. Make sure we get off that trigger. There we go, that's one. Slam a bolt in here. Move on to the next one. We want it all to line up when we're done. Let's get things prepped up so we can start welding and actually make some progress, and maybe have the plow mounted by the end of the day. That would be sweet, but we got a lot of welding to do, and it's thick stuff, so it's going to use a lot of passes, so let's get after it. We're getting there. At least we're putting metal on. So this piece we've welded on. Now we're going to do the matching piece to the other side and work on creating our U underneath. Get this tied in. We got both of the arms welded up, and I mean, I think they turned out nice and strong. And now we're gonna work on getting our crossbar in for the drawbar. And once we get that welded in, then we can do some plating and reinforcing. See, the thing is, I'm a farmer who thinks he can weld and fabricate, and I am by no means an engineer, so my go-to is kind of just make it stronger than I think it needs to be so that we don't have any issues. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're using 1/2 inch plates, and we'll add some gussets and some braces, and before you know it, this thing will be mounted. We're doing well. I'm pretty impressed. It's starting to look like something, and it lines up really well with that hitch. So now we just need to mount a top piece and a bottom piece to bolt to this, and then we will pull this off and finish welding in everything we need to. But we try to do as much as we could bolt it up in place so that it's not flexing and warping and will be really hard to put back together. We're getting there. We got the top piece welded on. Now we're gonna drill our holes to line up where I want it, and then we'll weld on the bottom piece. Then we can take it all out and then drill our hole for the bottom piece through the top piece, it'll stay lined up. And then still I'm thinking about what I want to do here. I was thinking I'd put a brace up here, but I'm not sure. I mean, darn thing's pretty sturdy, so we'll see what happens, I guess. It's taken a while, it's a lot of work, but we've made some progress, I suppose. We have our rear hitch made. This sits over top of the bar to add strength, and then this butts right up against the back of the blade so that it's taking some load as well as the pin, trying to spread it out. So now we're gonna bolt this on, get the bolt in there so that that side is no longer on wood. Then we'll work here, try and get something figured out for the front, and then we might go out and try it, move some snow. I need to move some snow. After that, we'll come in, we'll reinforce that back brace potentially and make the blade a bit wider. That's what I'm thinking. Not bad. I think that turned out pretty well. I might do a little something to make that hitch point on the frame itself a bit stronger, but I like it. It looks sturdy. Yeah. Let's move on to the front. This is where it may get interesting. I think I got a good plan for this, actually. It's been a rough one here, but we are still making progress. I'm working on the front mount. I went over a bunch of different scenarios, and this is the one we've come up with. The hardest part of this whole thing is just drilling the holes, man. Making these 1-inch holes has been absolutely killing me. And my drills, but we've got them done. We got things lined up. And now we just need to make the frame on the front that welds to this plate. That's gonna bolt up to the bottom, and we're gonna be good. I was trying to come up with situations where I didn't have to drill holes because I just knew that was gonna be a pain. And I was thinking of, oh man, how could I make like a quick attach where this just slides in, you put that pin in, but I couldn't think of a decent way that was sturdy enough in my mind. So now we bolted that on, and we will make an arm, and it'll go up to here, and then it'll go over front to this, and it should tie in nicely and be sturdy. And then that's gonna be bolted up. Hopefully we get that done tomorrow. This is the point of the tractor project, not just the plow, that it's like, where do I stop, man? I've already been working on this tractor for a week and a half. I really got to get going on some other things. We're close, but there's still a lot to do. And I know in the end, like, it'll be beneficial. We need to be able to clear snow here productively, but it's just taking a lot of time, and it's starting to eat at me. Okay, we're gonna start welding up this front bracket. We're gonna weld everything we need to this plate, take it off, flip it over, do some good welds because I need to get a lot of strength in here, and then we'll weld it to the frame after that. And hopefully things don't move and we're all good. The worst part is working in here. Come on. Okay. Oh, there we go. Something like that. That looks good to me. Move it a little bit forward, actually. Worst part about this is I know it's going to want to walk all over when I start welding it in. So I'll probably end up overheading the first pass, try and get it where I want it to stay, and then we'll take it off and do a bunch more layers. Yeah,
honestly, pretty good weld. Yeah, I think we'll be able to make that work. Okay, that's one. We're gonna try and make them somewhat even. That's close. Ah! Forgot my leather jacket at the farm. Of course, I could really use it right now. Sounded like something moved. I think we'll be able to make it work. And if you guys see me, I'm just making little circles. That's my preferred style. Okay. Good. Now we need to get a kicker out to the front here, higher up. Give us lots of support. And then we'll probably put a crossbar up top here. Give a bit more support on the top. Let's go cut some more metal. Two 12-inch pieces. That's what we're after now. I love having a speed square around to help me just square up my lines. And we have been using a cutoff wheel on a grinder for all our cuts. Here will be number 2. Here's kind of what the front bracket's gonna look like. We got it out now that it's all tacked up. We're gonna do a bunch of passes, probably 4 or 5 on each weld, and then throw it back under there, get it welded together, and then we can actually lift the blade up under its own weight. All right, let's get her cooking. I feel like we're running out of the time on this job, so we're still building it strong, but it's gonna be maybe a little less pretty. Either way, let's get this piece in, we'll bolt it in, and then we can weld it on the frame. Oh, this is not gonna be fun to get up here. Could be a hard one. I really didn't want to get in here again. Oh, it's hot. It's very hot. Now we can get them tightened up, welded in. Oh, she's warped a bit for sure. We'll have to spread them when we get to welding. We have officially got the blade mounted on the tractor. It's all welded in. I may do a bit more to reinforce it, but I mean, I think that's gotta be pretty sturdy. So now we just gotta get these blocks out of here, which, yeah, they're in there. They're in there good. Sledgehammer. That's the play.
We got it hooked up. We're gonna have to get some longer hydraulic lines though. I had to pull these out to hook it up. But now we can fire it up and lift it up, see what it does, see if it moves, see how high it goes. I have no clue. I hope it works. It works, it goes up, it goes down. It can lift up the front of the tractor, honestly, which it's pretty good. Let's hope it holds up. We need to throw our exhaust on so that it's not just in the engine bay like it is now. We're gonna test it out, then we'll bring it back in here and start making the plow wider and probably doing a bit to reinforce our brackets. I just didn't want to do a ton of extra work if anything would need to be changed. So that's awesome. I'm fired up. It's holding nicely here. And I mean, I'm really proud of how the back turned out. The back turned out fantastic. Love it. Here's what we have to do to the blade before we can actually go and use it. So it came with only one pin. I found a piece of steel that I'm going to use to make a second pin. So we got to make that pin. It's just in there. And then our skids. This one, the bottom rusted off, and the other one, it has it, but it's going to rust off. So we got to put some sort of skid plate under there so that the blade's not just dragging and digging in the whole time. And then we're gonna go plowing. We are going to use that. It's 8" by maybe a quarter. And we're gonna use that for the new sliders. I don't know how long it'll last, but this thing's forever old. So I'm sure it'll last me. So we'll get these ones cut off, start welding these on. We're probably gonna throw them in there though first, before we weld anything completely so that we can see where it's gonna sit optimally. I was working on the sliders, but I figured I should probably get a pin in, and that pin doesn't wanna go in super easily, so we're gonna build it, hammer it home, never take it out. So we cut our piece, we rounded the bottom, because that'll help it go in when we got the sledgehammer, and now we're just gonna weld this bolt on it. Good to go. They're gonna look something like that. We have the main pad, then we have that block to give us a bit more height and strength on the main sliding surface. And then we'll bend up the front, back, and the sides a little bit with a hammer and call it good, I think. We managed to get that pin in, but it wasn't easy. We're working on our skids here. This one's welded up and done. I think it looks pretty good. And we cut the bottoms off and then just flipped them over so we had a nice flat edge. And it gave us another 3/4 of an inch, which got us sitting at a decent spot. So now we're welding in that one. Then we'll figure out how to bend them and get them tossed in. Just like that, we have some sliders. I'm not putting an edge on the side. If I need to, I will, but I just want to try this thing out. We just put them on the side like that, use a sledgehammer, and we got some decent bends on it, so we're gonna throw them in now, set it down, see what it looks like. I've been looking at this thing, and I made a TikTok and short about the frame that I made, and I would agree with most comments. I think I need to beef it up before I go and try anything, because if I screw things up right away, it's just going to be way more work. I think it would probably hold, but I don't want to take a chance. Because if this falls off, it's going to screw up my transmission. It's just not going to be a good deal. So we're going to cut a piece of tubing, throw it in there, cut some flat plate, get it in there as like a cross brace. We're going to beef this thing up. So I really wasn't loving how it was looking. It didn't seem strong enough. So we added another 2 bars in the front and the cross brace in the back, as well as the top main bar right there. Kind of everything's welded to it, ties it all in. Now we've got some side-to-side strength, as well as lifting the tractor if it comes to that. So we got the front all beefed up, and I figured I'd done it all. Like, let's just do the back. Then I don't have to worry about it. So we put this brace in here to help with some back and forth load. Now I think it's finally kind of done, sort of. So we're gonna add some length to our hydraulics When I'm doing something like this, not super important, doesn't have to be precise, I just opt for these pre-made lines. They're so cheap compared to getting something made. And then we'll just throw on these couplers, make them 4 feet longer, route them into the hole we need them in. We got our hydraulics routed. They're hanging off the frame here. They're tied to the main plow there and right here. And then they kind of just loop around, plug into the outlet number 1. So now I think we are ready to pull this thing out and try the blade. This is the first time I've ever used the plow, and I am excited. What a beauty. Fueling her up. Took it for a little test drive. I gotta get used to how a blade moves snow. And I don't know, maybe my skids are too high. We'll see what happens. Here's the deal. We got the blade mounted, it worked good, but I can't angle it, I don't have a bracket, and a 9-foot blade is just way too small anyways, and the way our yard is set up, a snow pusher style blade is gonna be better. So we have this bucket, and we have this blade. We're gonna make 1 out of 2. No, yeah, 1 out of 2. And sure, I could do it properly. I could buy the steel, take it to a shop, they could bend it for me. It would look super good. But we're not trying to win any show or beauty pageants. We want to be able to move snow, and I'm trying to keep it cheap. Metal's expensive. I think we'll be able to do something decent. That's the plan at least. So we're gonna torch this thing into pieces, start putting them on there. We're gonna use the bottom with the cutting edge. That'll be our 1.5 foot extensions, or maybe 20-inch extensions. So it's a bit over 12 feet wide. Anything more than that, I don't think this tractor will be able to handle it with the single tires on it. And then we'll use this backboard to make the edges, I guess, to hold the snow in. gonna end up looking something a little like that. Sure, it ain't pretty, but it's gonna be functional, fellas. It's kind of what we're going for. Now let's do a shitload of welding. All right, so we got the cheeks, you know, the extensions welded on here. Braced them up. I think they're pretty strong. Like, in reality, that's still doing most of the work. This is just holding on for the ride, you know? So now we need to work on the end pieces so that we can catch some snow. And then I would like to do a bit of a riser in the front so that we have a bit more capacity. We'll see how far I get because I want to be plowing again by the end of the day. We ran and grabbed this sheet of 3/8 steel from the farm. It's a spare, or it's a half a piece from when I built my skid steer quick attach. We're gonna use this to make the ends. It'll just be better than that. That wasn't big enough and it was just gonna be a pain. I think we took all we could out of there. So we'll cut this there and then in half, and we'll be ready to weld them on. We got our plates cut, and I've got one welded on. We'll put a brace here, and then we need to build a slider. And then we got to do that side yet too, but it's coming along pretty well, I'd say. I mean, we're definitely gonna have a lot more capacity now. Kind of looks like trash, but hey, buy it cheap, keep it cheap, and it doesn't owe you nothing. For certain scenarios. And snow moving is one of them. We got the ends welded on. It's starting to look decent, honestly, guys. Like, for a hack job, we're doing all right. Now let's throw our braces in so that these things aren't moving around, and then we just got to make the skids. And then maybe we'll do the upper bar today. I'm not sure. I really want to get out there and finish plowing. I thought I was like almost done. I forgot I had to build the skids, and I built that instead. We're definitely increasing capacity here, fellas. So we'll quickly build the skids and then we're going plowing because then it's done. So to make the skids, I just have this angle iron. We make a slit in it. We're bending it so that it bends up. And then we'll just weld that on the side there so that if it does touch down, it wants to slide instead of dig. There we go. It's bigger. It's done. We got our skids welded on the side. That's awesome. I'm extremely happy to be done with this plow project. I knew it was going to be big. It's taken me all week, but we got done, and I think we have something that's pretty capable to move snow. Let's just hope I don't break things because I made the blade too big. Anyways, we'll show you some action, and I appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one. It's a little unnerving due to how big it is now. Things are moving around a bit more in the frame. I think it's just loose pins. Works really nicely though. We can finally clean up all these strips and do a decent job. So I'm happy with how it turned out.